Alright everybody, Connor McLeod-Farley here with Highlight Performance, and I'm here with a quick video on how to stretch your hamstrings without any spinal flexion. Now, just a few quick words on why this is important. A lot of the time, we spend a lot of time sitting. People get low back pain, and then to deal with the low back pain, they end up stretching the low back. But we have two main kinds of joints. We have stability joints, and we have mobility joints. And this is a broad simplification, but as a general rule, it works. Essentially, we have some joints like the shoulder that can move in many different ways, and we have to keep it nice and mobile if we want to have healthy function. And then we have some joints that are more stability joints, and their job is to stabilize and protect. And as a general rule, the body alternates between stability joints and mobility joints. So when it comes to our spinal health, we want to have a relatively stable low back. We want to have mobile hips. We want to have a mobile T-spine through the mid-back, but we want to have a relatively stable low back. And the reason for that is the job of the low back is to, number one, protect our spine, but number two, to transfer power from the lower body to the upper. So if you're doing something like a thruster or anything like that, ground to overhead, you want your low back to be stable and strong, but not necessarily extremely flexible. And when you start to add a lot of flexibility to the low back, especially as a way to deal with low back pain, which a lot of people do because it's the tools that they know, you end up actually making the back pain worse. Your back feels unstable, your body tries to tighten things up to compensate and protect, and then you end up with an even stiffer low back than before. So what we want to do is stretch our hamstrings, for the sake of this video, without involving any spinal flexion, because if we're already experiencing these issues, or if you're spending a ton of time at a desk already in kind of flexed positions, adding more flexion is not going to be the solution to your problems. But we're sitting on our hamstrings all day, every day, and it's important to keep them mobile and stretch them out. So to do that, you're going to bend your knees ever so slightly. This is going to look just like the start of a deadlift. Imagine there's a rope around your waist, drive your hips back as far as you can. And again, I'm keeping that slight knee bend, vertical shin position. And I'm going to start to hinge the lower body with a flat low back. You can keep your hand here if you want to feel, until I feel a hamstring stretch. And I feel it right away here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sit your hips back even further, lower the low body as much as you can with a flat low back, and then try to extend your knees ever so slightly. Since you're already in a loaded stretched position, you won't be able to lock them out, and that's okay, that's what we want. I'm feeling the stretch already. You might see that I'm shaking ever so slightly. And I'm going to hold that for 20 to 30 seconds. Now, if I want to isolate the left or right side, I'm just going to add a very slight twist. I'm still keeping my low back integrity nice and flat. And I'm going to try to straighten this leg a little bit. But again, I'm already in a nice deep loaded position, and then I add the straightening effort. So it's very hard to lock out. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. What I like to do is I like to do 30 seconds in the middle position, come up, reset, 30 seconds on the left side, reset, 30 seconds on the right side. For the sake of keeping this video concise, I'm making my reset very quick, but normally I like to stand up, shake things out, take about 20-30 seconds, and then go into the next stretch. You can do this for longer holds as well. And just one last interesting note is if you look at the classic forward fold position, what you'll notice is that I'm actually in the same position with my lower body here as I am when I'm doing this version of the stretch. So you're still getting all of the great benefits for stretching the hamstring, and there's not really a difference in the lower body mechanics versus the forward fold. But the benefit is you're not getting into that rounded back position, you're not adding spinal flexion, you're not destabilizing your low back, and you're still getting all the great benefits of the hamstring stretch. Additionally, people often mistake getting into a lower position or getting their nose closer to their knees in a forward fold position as increasing their hamstring flexibility, when a lot of the time what you're actually doing is you're increasing your spinal flexibility, and you're not actually deepening the stretch in the target muscle, which is the hamstrings. With the no spinal flexion hamstring stretch, you will never mistake increased flexibility. You'll never misattribute, sorry, apparently I can't speak. You'll never misattribute the source of the gains in mobility. So if you feel like you're getting deeper, you know that it's coming from your hamstring if you're doing the hamstring stretch with no spinal flexion. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching. Take care.